It's difficult to explain the abuse I endured. Even talking through my story with a Jewish care social worker a few months ago, it was like reading a fiction book out loud. As someone who'd led a relatively normal life, I never expected that a chance meeting with him would be my downfall. Things moved along pretty quickly and he asked me to move in. He wasn't working, but I trusted him. I was a successful businesswoman, so I was supporting him, and I was also financially supporting my daughter, who was now living out of home. Even though I was paying his rent and bills, he took control of my money. He said he was best equipped to do so, as I was bad with money. I never saw my money again. The first time he hit me was probably 6 months into the relationship, where he picked me up by my neck and smashed me head first into a wall. But soon I was enduring all sorts of abuse. One time he backhanded me so hard that he knocked me out cold. I was always covered in bruises, which I tried to hide, and if friends noticed the bruises, I'd just laugh and joke about how clumsy I was. I left him so many times it's ridiculous, but he'd stalk me and hound me until I returned, telling me that he'd never hurt me again. He did everything he could to isolate me from my family and friends, particularly my daughter, who he knew I'd give my life for. It's just hard to believe that this kind of human behaviour exists. The fact that I remain with this person who hurt me physically, emotionally and financially seems illogical, but the fear of leaving him was far greater than the fear of staying with him. One night I was lying underneath him on the pavement with his arms around my throat, gasping for my last breath, covered in blood and bruises, and I knew this man was going to kill me. It was only my good fortune that someone came out of their house and took his attention for a split second, but I managed to get away, and that's when I left him for good. When I left him, I obtained an intervention order, but that didn't stop him from coming where I lived, being seen outside my daughter's place and even blowing up my car. He was eventually incarcerated in 2013 with over 70 offences. Since leaving him, I've moved 5 times. The company I'd worked for many years closed its doors. To add insult to injury, his mother brought about false allegations which I had no option other than to defend myself against in court. With all the legal proceedings, money soon ran out and I had to choose between food on the table and my rent. As someone who'd worked hard and always earned a decent living, I never thought I'd be someone to accept charity. So a friend of mine approached me and told me about Jewish Care. They'd helped him in his darkest moments with counselling and housing. He gave me their phone number and told me to give them a call. It took me several days to pluck up the courage, and eventually I made that call, and it was the hardest and the easiest call to make of my life. Jewish Care have helped me pay my rent, so I'm not in a position of being homeless. I've also been referred to a financial counsellor who's helping me to become self-sufficient once again. Jewish Care also offered me counselling and employment services, and they continue to watch over me with a social worker calling me on a regular basis to see if I need any further assistance or just someone to talk to. When you've been through what I've been through, that call alone is a safe place to fall. For that, I'll be forever grateful. I feel it was very important for me to share my story so that people are aware that these things do happen out in our community. I will do what I can to help Jewish Care, and I urge you to do the same so that they can help people like me and others in the community.